Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 191. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday Motivation and Inspiration. And today we're talking about how you work hard in the dark to shine in the light. Now, a lot of people will not see the hard work you're doing in the dark. The grind, the long hours, missing family events, missing friend outings, skipping out on your favorite things to do, all so you can achieve your goals and feel accomplished. There's all the sacrifices you make to get to the end result. You put in the work day after day as you walk through the dark tunnel. You're working in hopes of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes you think you're there, but there's a small glimmer of light that shines through the tunnel you're walking through. And it's the self-doubt and uncertainty you go through, and you question how long you should keep going. It's what you're passionate about, and you want to spend the rest of your days doing it as a career. It's what you feel you're born to do. But that tunnel stays dark for weeks, days, weeks, months, years. Start to think about walking away. But if you do, you're back to living a life of mediocrity and complacency. You're back to the drawing board, trying to figure out what's next. What do you do to be seen? How do you engage more with others? How do you get people's attention and keep it for a short period of time? It's the work that you know needs to be done, so you get back to it. It's about staying motivated and inspired daily. It's doing the dark work in the tunnels so you can see the light shining bright in the end. And it's hard. It's hard to walk through a dark tunnel every day. And, a few weeks ago I posted something in regards to walking through a dark tunnel on my Twitter page. And I knew I needed to take that moment to myself to really think to myself what's going on here and why am I still walking through a dark tunnel. But just know that if you're in a dark tunnel, you're not really alone. It's you and your guardian angels, and they're guiding you along. And everyone has guardian angels. So please don't think you don't have one or two, because you do. Trust me. There are plenty of situations in your life that have been avoided because of your guardian angels, believe me. And you may not ever know of it, and you may find out later down the road, right? So what I want you guys to know is that sometimes people don't even appreciate the work that you're doing. And I'm talking about the people that are closest to you and people that are within your inner circle. And that's okay. It's totally fine. Don't ever feel like you've got to prove to them that all this work you're doing is going to work out and pay off. Just know that they'll be the first people to congratulate you. I tell you that. Kind of had that happen to me once or twice, and I'm just like, okay, that's weird. Don't do that. But anyway, I sit here and I visualize so many people that I've met and known, and some people I even know now that are walking through that dark tunnel and they're unsure if they're even going to see the light. And I know someone who is, a hip hop artist, and he works tirelessly on his craft, and he's gotten better with his music, album after album. I don't even know how many he's released this year alone. But what I will say is that all the work that he did one of his albums made it to the front of the Bandcamp page. And Bandcamp is a music app and website where there are a lot of local and underground hip hop artists that post their music and their content on there. And when he signed on to Bandcamp, he realized his album was on there. All his friends were texting him, and he was just like, wow. And his album downloads increased exponentially within like a week. And he was talking about it, and it was crazy. And he was so happy because he'd been working so hard in that dark tunnel, and he was starting to finally see the light, right? And he does performances here in local Phoenix and things like that. And he's just been constantly going at it and constantly creating new content. And he's growing, and I see it. And I had to like really commend him for all the work that he has been doing. And he's always posting his content of him being, working in his home studio and working on creating new things. And here we are, right? And not only is he going to keep growing, he's going to become better at his craft. And this is what I'm talking about, working in the dark to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like today's podcast, I wanted to utilize an example from someone else, not necessarily talk about any of my experiences or anything like that. Because for me, I'm still walking through a dark tunnel myself, and that's totally fine and that's okay. The point that I'm really trying to make is that you guys need to continually plug away and continue to work, right? Because everything takes time, everything is a journey, everything is a grind. Some days are going to be better than others. You're going to have to make investments that may not work in your favor. You may make investments that are going to work out for you. And that's what it's about. It's a continuous growing journey of learning yourself, learning who you are, where you're going to go, and how long are you willing to continue driving down that road to get to your destination, right? Because from New York to Los Angeles, California is 3,000 miles. Now, if you decide to drive across the country, it's probably going to take you about 4 to 5 days, give or take. How long are you willing to stay on that road and continually drive to get to Los Angeles, right? Let's just say that's your end result. Or let's just say San Diego or wherever it is that you're driving to, let's just say. You got to continue to grind. You got to continue to keep going. So I just wanted to come on today's podcast just to let you know that a friend of mine has been working his butt off for about 6-7 years, creating music and constantly doing the work. And he's only, I think, 23 or 24. So just imagine, he started as a teenager, and now he's in his early 20s, and he's starting to see certain things. He's creating merchandise, and he's going to shows across the country in North Carolina and doing stuff. And he's starting to really see all the work that he's been doing, right? So if he's that young and he's that motivated and dedicated at like 23, 24, then you should be able to do it yourself, right? So he's someone that I look at and say, okay, he's doing it. Shoot, I can too, right? Why not? So just know, keep walking through that tunnel. You're gonna see light at the end of it, and keep at it, and know that dark tunnel is your tunnel and your tunnel only. It's not for anyone else's. It's not for anyone else to walk with you. You've got to walk through it and figure things out as time goes along. And there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, there's going to be motivated days, and there's going to be days where you don't want to do a darn thing in the world. But the journey will always be continuous. All right, y'all. Just wanted to let you guys know, if there's someone as young as my friend that's doing it, you can do it too. So that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening. As always, be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.